Alright, hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato class guide. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're covering the Golem, and I want to shout out channel viewer Baphomet who requested the Golem. If there's a character that you want to see, let me know. I am definitely open to suggestions as to which classes to cover next. So, the main thing about the Golem is this last line of text. You can't heal in any way, and they do mean any way, with the exception of you do regain your HP in between waves. But if you level up and gain a maximum HP, you're never getting that back. Consumables do nothing, lifesteal does nothing, health regeneration, you guessed it, it does nothing. So there's a lot of items that we're going to want to avoid on this character. In exchange for that, we do get 20 max HP, and any HP that we buy or gain is increased by a third. Armor's increased by a third, and if we're below half health, we get 40% attack speed and 20% speed. I don't think we're going to be trying deliberately to make use of that often, because putting ourselves below half health on purpose is super risky, but the bonuses are obviously nice, and when you need them, they're there for you. Because we can't heal, that cuts off a lot of items that we would normally prioritize very heavily, which means that the Golem actually has a lot of extra money. I think there's a couple ways that you can take the Golem, like you could try to tank up using an item that gives you a ton of HP, using maybe the primitive weapon tag, and just gain a bunch of maximum HP, try to tank through any hits that you might take. You could also try to build pure damage with a ranged weapon, and just try to kill everything before it could potentially touch you. Of these options, I think that the best option is actually an item that scales with the defensive stats that we already want to buy, the Spiky Shield. The Spiky Shield gives us armor from the medieval tag, it gives us armor from the blunt tag, it gives us HP from the blunt tag. All of these things are increased because of our natural scaling that the Golem gets. It also removes another category of item that we would have to buy. So we don't have to buy healing, and we don't have to buy any flat damage, because the Spiky Shield scales with armor instead of damage. This sort of sneakily turns the Golem into an economy character as well as a tanking character, because it gets to ignore several categories of item, which are often what you're going to be spending most of your money on. So we're going to go with the Spiky Shield and use that to be able to clear with the Golem. When we're using a melee weapon like this, we want to move in spirals to kind of pull the enemies to us and hit multiple with a single attack. Don't go chasing enemies that are off on the opposite side of the map on wave 1. You want to be pulling them together so that you can gain as much money as you can. Here, obviously, we're ignoring HP regeneration, but getting our harvesting going is always good. I'm going to lock the coupon and buy the Spiky Shield, and roll again. Nothing here. That was also, incidentally, an item to avoid on the Golem that we just rolled past, the Weird Ghost. Because you can't heal at all, you'll start your next wave at 1 HP and have to play the entire wave at 1 HP. I'll lock the tree, although it's worth mentioning that trees are worse on this character than on other characters because you get no benefits from the consumable drop. That being said, the money is still welcome, and the potential chance of dropping an item is even more welcome. Keep rolling for more Spiky Shields, and we were able to lock a fourth. 3 with a fourth locked, and 2 good items locked is perfect after the first drop. This is another character that struggles primarily with elites, so it can be worth looking ahead to see what elites you have, and if you're really struggling with this character, I recommend rolling until you just have hordes, because hordes are going to be much easier to deal with thanks to our AoE damage from the Spiky Shields. Here we're going to be taking armor, because all of our stuff scales with armor, and we'll grab Spiky Shield and keep rolling. Grab a Spiky Shield and roll again, and lock in another Spiky Shield. Basically, this couldn't have gone better. We have our 6 weapons, we have 2 economy items locked, it's perfect. I'm not buying the coupon or the tree initially. The only item I will buy in the first 2 shops that isn't a weapon is fertilizer. Because the 5% from the coupon applied to the 20 that we are spending is not going to be a particularly important amount of materials, and we need to make sure we use our guaranteed weapon rolls to gain weapons while we have the opportunity to. in the first 2 shops, of course, you're guaranteed to see 2 weapons in every roll, so it's really important to make use of that very powerful effect while you can. We'll grab some attack speed, and I'll grab some harvesting just to try to boost that. Max out on spiky shields, but not before I buy the coupon. Save $1 here. Roll again, and normally we'd be very happy to see weird food, but it doesn't do anything for this character. Luck is also significantly worse on this character than it is on other characters, but it's still worth buying because higher level items and a higher chance of dropping items is still really good. It also increases the quality of your level ups, so I'll still buy the Lost Duck, although it's worth noting that luck is less important to prioritize. Pickup range is even less important to prioritize because you don't gain any health from consumables. Also, because we have 6 spiky shields, we are gaining 6 armor, 6 max HP, 6 dodge, and minus 10 speed. All of the armor and max HP is increased because we're the Golem, but we do need to deal with our negative speed. Minus 10% speed is a really big problem, especially once we reach our elites later on. Tanked that shot, didn't mean to, but at this point in the game, it's okay to take a couple hits here and there. Clear this tree. Another reason that having negative speed is bad is it makes it harder for us to clear trees and still, clear enemies and pick up materials. I will just take some max HP here, that's always good, and I would love to take this armor and increase our damage, but getting our harvesting over 20 will make it tick by 2 every level. I've actually been lying in some previous videos, unfortunately, because everything else in this game rounds down, but harvesting, for whatever reason, rounds up. So the increase by 5% as soon as you get this number over 20 starts increasing by 2 instead of increasing by 1. So 21 is your breakpoint on harvesting. I've been thinking it was 40. Alright, we'll upgrade the spiky shield. We'll grab the duct tape. This does increase our max HP by more than it would for other characters, but increased armor, super important for us. And we'll continue to upgrade our shields. I can actually start raising our crit chance. I think that will add reasonably to our damage, although our percentage damage is still at 0. So I think I'm going to pass on the insanity for now. Plus, range is also quite good with the spiky shield, so Baby Gecko has a little bit more utility than it would otherwise, but I think we're going to avoid that as well. I'm just going to reroll once and buy another spiky shield. The things that I'm looking for the most are ways to repair our speed, and obviously any economy item is pretty good. And then just armor and maximum HP like it says on the tin. Dodge is also, of course, great. We can't... Otherwise, we can't recover health, but if we don't take the damage in the first place, then so much the better. And similarly, Tardigrade can be a pretty good item on this character, even though it's typically not amazing. But since you just really want to avoid taking any damage instances rather than heal through them, you can really make use of something like that. We don't use engineering at all, so we unfortunately have to recycle this, but I'll take 6% speed, get our speed back up towards the normal value that we would like. Get up to a bunch of level 2 spiky shields, and buy this duct tape. Additional armor, really important. Notice that that cost us 3 max HP though, just because the decreases are also boosted by the Golem's effect. Metal is great. Armor, speed, max HP, it's everything that we want, so I'm just going to lock it here. I will throw in one more reroll. We're in the Wave 5 shop, so we're guaranteed a weapon, which means we're not unlikely to see a spiky shield if I roll again. Here, though, nothing that we want. Gummy Berserker would be okay. I might take it for free, but it's not worth buying to decrease my armor. Although, as I mentioned, range is pretty good with the spiky shield just because it's so short range by default. At least on this character that doesn't want to ever take hits. Having those floaters live through 2 attacks is pretty annoying, honestly. We really want to be one-shotting everything at this stage of the game. We have so much bonus armor and are using an armor scaling weapon that the fact that we're not one-shotting things is not an amazing sign for where our damage is at. Tanking some damage pretty happily there just to make sure that we are getting all of our materials picked up. And do I want 3 max HP? I think we can do better than that. I will roll once more. If this was a level 2 speed, I'd take it. Alright, well, got a little punished for that, but I'll still take the +1 armor. Bag is great, even though we do need to boost our speed. Still great to get economy items. We'll take this metal, of course, and roll. And nothing here that I want, so I'll roll again. I'll take coffee, perfect item, and bag. And throw in one more reroll. Do I want this snail? I think snail is actually going to be pretty good for us. It will help us avoid enemies, and making it easier to dodge is really important, I think. It's really good, especially against enemies that charge. We should have the damage to let the eggs spawn, so I'm going to do that, and then we can clear them out pretty quickly. As always, when you're on wave 7, you want to let the eggs hatch if you can kill the enemies, the big enemies, quickly and easily, because they're worth a little more money that way. Another trick to this kind of character with these direct attacks, like the ones that go in straight lines, I should not have put myself in the corner there, incidentally, I made myself quite vulnerable, is if you move in a triangle or a circle, then the enemies will stack up onto one another and you can attack through them. Alright, -8 luck, but we get XP gain. For free, I think that's worth taking. I would certainly not have bought that, but given that we got it completely for free, I think that's pretty good. I will take 6% dodge here as well, with the 6% that we're already getting from the medieval weapon tag. That's quite a lot. And then here I'm going to just continue to increase my harvesting. It's still early enough that that will be worth a lot at this point. By decreased enemy speed, I am going to avoid the missile at this point just because it's so expensive. We could certainly use some additional damage, but for that cost, I think it is too high. On the other hand, I'll take injection, even though it decreases our max HP a little more, it's still really good. And 10 harvesting for -5 dodge at this point, I think it's still early enough that the little frog will pay off, so I'm going to grab that, grab some attack speed, roll once more, and we get to upgrade our last spiky shield. Here I will lock in the lost duck as well, because I do want to increase our luck. And now the big thing that we're missing is just additional speed. And of course armor. I obviously should have dodged that attack, taking 4 damage for no reason there and there as well. Pretty sloppy, but okay, I'm walking into every projectile these guys are shooting out. But we have a decent amount of armor, so we can afford to make a few mistakes. Trying to make sure that I'm killing the ranged enemies because they make it much harder to dodge, so I'm kind of chasing them down. And then we can easily dodge the melee enemies, but if there's both of them at the same time, that's when you can get into some trouble. It's nice that we got our harvesting going as well, and in fact I will continue to increase it. Here I am going to just buy some increased speed, that's perfect, and we'll take a little luck, roll again, upgrade my spiky shield. Obviously the blood leech is completely useless. Ugly tooth, my speed is negative, and I think we just want to be killing stuff that we actually hit in melee, so I'm not going to worry about that. Let's keep rolling a little bit, upgrade the spiky shield, and warrior helmet, another item that's basically ideal for this character. All the things that it gives us are boosted, and it increases our damage. Now, again, the thing that we are most lacking at this point is speed, which I really want to get before we hit wave 11 when our first elite could spawn. I should also, I even gave this advice, but I haven't looked at where our elites are in this particular run yet. I also want to take this moment to thank everyone who's been tuning in and watching. It's been really great seeing all the positive feedback and enthusiasm for the channel, and the sort of growth, or resurrection I should say, of the channel of late has been really awesome to see. So thank you all for tuning in, for commenting, for subscribing, and so on. If you want to see me cover specific games, I put up a poll about some games I've been considering, so go check that out. Let me know what you think. I took a lot of damage there. Let's recycle that. Do I want to keep boosting my harvesting? Yeah, I guess so. We'll just be an all-harvesting golem. And then I'm going to re-roll this, or do I just take 3% speed? We are decreasing our speed, but I think we can do better and get a level 2 at least. So yeah, we were able to get that. And then here, I'll just take some percent damage. Our percent damage is pretty bad right now. I'll take the warrior helmet, and I'm going to not take the claw tree. 3% crit chance wouldn't even get us back above 0. We'll roll again. Gummy Berserker. Again, a little bit interesting for this character, but I think reducing our armor at this point is too bad for us right now. And then here, this is a great set of items. So we have a horde on wave 11 and then on wave 14, so I don't need to worry about taking bait going into wave 10, of course, because there could never be a horde there. But we can buy all of these items. Do I want the 8 max HP for minus luck? We don't get any regeneration out of it. I think this is a pretty inefficient way to get max HP at this point, so I'm not going to buy the alien magic. I'm going to roll. Nothing here that we want. Roll again. Wow, our harvesting is actually going to pay off big time, having gotten so much harvesting, because I can buy this crown, and then I will buy 6% damage. The minus range is definitely starting to stack up, but it's half as bad on melee weapons as it is on ranged weapons, so, and we can never go below 100, so it's not the end of the world. We'll definitely take a couple hits off the start here just from the bait enemies, but because we have so much armor, that should be okay. Finding that crown was great when we've been building harvesting so aggressively. Okay, I need to not take that hit though, because now our harvesting is going to increase significantly. With these chargers, you want to wait for them to charge and then move just slightly off of their path. Or you can try to stand directly in front of them and hope that your weapons actually kill them before they land. I don't recommend that usually, but it's certainly viable. With a couple seconds left in the wave, I'm going to dive into all the enemies, make sure we're picking up as many extra kills and as much material as we can. I'm going to buy armor over max HP. Our max HP is pretty good and will continue to go up over time anyways. The thing that we need most of is armor, just because it's bonus damage. Let's keep rolling, and here I will grab the alien eyes. We are going to scale our max HP quite a bit, and having a way to deal damage that doesn't involve getting super close to enemies will be really nice. And I'm going to lock in the leather vest and the metal plate, 2 more excellent items for us. I am reducing my max HP a little bit here, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal. So this is our horde wave, but I feel like we'll be pretty safe here. We have enough knockback on the spiky shields that the ribcage aliens are less dangerous than they are for some characters. We're not a ranged build that needs to actually kill them. We can just push them away. And while we're doing that, we'll kill the horde pretty efficiently. If you play in the corner when you're a melee build, you can make sure the enemies are all coming from the same directions, and then the line of your attack goes through all of them at once. Getting a little bit trapped up there and taking a little bit more damage than I like, so I'm just going to relocate. While also making sure to grab some of these materials on our way back through. Get this tree. Alright, perfect. Took a little bit of damage there, but it was a horde wave, so I'm not too broken up about that. Let's grab this attack speed, because that's going to be the best thing for us. And then here, I'm going to re-roll this. I think we can do better than level 2 crit chance, and in fact we get level 2 armor, which is perfect. Alright, more armor, more dodge. ideal shop. Let's keep rolling. -1 armor for 8% dodge, I think is still pretty good here. I'm not going to take the sunglasses. That still wouldn't build our crit chance up at all. And but the dodge chance, getting our dodge capped early, will be really nice. Here's the Golem's unique item, which is kind of fun to have found. We get +1 max HP for every armor we have. So that's going to be also plus 33%, so that's going to bring our max HP up to like 120 by itself, which is kind of awesome. I will also buy the alien eyes, and we'll buy the cake. Stone Skin is a great item and a really solid reason to get a win with Golem. Adding that to your shop is going to improve the quality of your shop overall, because for most characters that's going to be at least like 10 max HP for -2 armor, which isn't amazing by itself, but does then allow you to skimp out on additional max HP and then just buy armor. It also turns something like the leather vest, which is one of the best items in the game, like one of the most efficient stat items in the game. It removes the downside from that item, because normally it gives you armor and reduces your max HP, but since your armor will be increased by your max HP, it completely removes the downside of one of the best items in the game. So it makes that item even more incredibly efficient. You have to kind of think about like what the effects on your future shops will be when you are picking items. More armor, awesome. Minus range for 5 max HP. I think I am... No, I'm going to take this only because we have double alien eyes, so boosting my max HP is actually going to turn those into a pretty huge amount of our damage. Here I'm going to just grab some dodge. Would love to increase my speed as well, so I'm definitely keeping an eye out for that. Anything that increases our speed is the most important thing we could have. Alien Worm, of course, has no downsides, so for this character. So while normally I think you should avoid it, it's pretty good to buy on this character. It's just 4 max HP. And then here, Finn is great. We don't use the lifesteal, obviously, but the 10% speed is amazing all by itself. And Leather Vest, like I said, it completely no longer has a downside because we have Stone Skin. Also, it's just an incredible item. The fact that we have like 5 leather vests on this build means that this is one of the best Golem builds I think you're ever going to see. You don't need your build to come together quite this well to win with this character, but it's kind of fun that we've gotten such a powerful one. Also makes up for the fact that I'm recording this pretty late at night and my dodging is not incredibly on point. I've been trying to do several recordings a day because going on vacation at the end of the month, want to make sure there's a backlog of recordings to have daily videos continue to come out for the time that I'm away and the foreseeable future. Alright. 8 armor while standing still, no good to us. We're not going to stand still. And then here, 4% lifesteal would be good on most characters, but not for this character. I'll just take a level 2 armor, that's fine. And we're going to grab those 2 items that we locked and keep on going. I'll continue to add more spiky shields as we go, and roll again. 8 HP for -4 dodge. I think that's still worth picking up at this point, although we would love to get the dodge going. You can't ever take the blood donation or whatever on this character, unfortunately. Although I guess for us it would only reduce our HP to 100 because it's only going to tick 60 times over the course of a 60-second wave. But even so, I think it is too dangerous to grab this item, so we're going to skip out on it. It's possible that that's just cowardice by me, and you could, with max HP this high, make it work pretty easily. But I also don't want to rely on the fact that this build is, like, pretty strong. in terms of the advice that I'm giving. I want to make sure that the advice is applicable to builds that are not going as well as this one is. I'm gonna tank a bunch of damage and just dive through the middle of the enemies there just to increase our cash. Right now we're only taking 5 every time we get hit, and if I can clear out some of these horde enemies and knock down some of the ranged enemies, we'll actually take fewer hits over the course of the wave. With 5 seconds left, I'm very safe to just dive right in. We'll take a couple hits, but we get to increase our income. And you should always be keeping an eye out for when it's safe to do something like that. I will grab additional speed, of course, and here, more armor. Coupon will still be good for us. Let's grab the warrior helmet as well and keep on rolling. Our speed is still positive because Finn is just a really good item. Power generator. I do want to increase my speed more. So right now this decreases our damage by 2%, but it does mean that any future speed we buy will increase our damage. I think it's worth picking up the power generator just to make speed an even better purchase. I'll grab this. Coupon. Small magazine, kind of interesting as well, just increases your attack speed. I would probably grab it if it was free, but I'm not going to lock it and spend money on it. 182 health. So our alien eyes are hitting for, how much is that? I missed how much that hit for. 110. Pretty awesome. Basically adds a whole extra set of attacks every 3 seconds. And their range and everything. I can even consider buying bouncing or piercing projectiles if those happen to come up to make the alien eyes better. Still making sure to clear out the trees, trying to dodge as many of these attacks as I can, although I walked into that one, got saved by my dodge percent chance. And with only a few seconds remaining, I'm gonna charge into the enemies and try to pick up a little extra money. Grab some speed, grab some dodge, that's great. Some more dodge, it does decrease our armor, but still really good. Plus 10 range. I think it's actually time to start trying to repair our range. It's getting pretty bad at this point, and I don't want to be in a position where I have to stand on top of the elites or bosses to damage them at all. Our crit chance is never getting back above 0, but that's okay. Roll again. Keep buying spiky shields. Keep buying luck. And yeah, so do I want this sharp bullet? It would affect the double alien eyes we have, which are up to 28,000 damage. Each shield is doing only a couple thousand, like 5,000 during a wave. For minus 5% damage, I think this is actually worth locking and picking up the sharp bullet. I think that's going to increase our wave clear significantly to have the alien eyes pierce. I've actually never looked at whether those piercing projectiles actually work with alien eyes. I do assume they do, because it just fires projectiles, but I suppose it's possible that it doesn't. Yes, indeed, there are mechanics that even I don't know in this game. Actually, there are certainly people who know the ins and outs of the mechanics of this game better than I do, but they don't have YouTube capture software. Alright, let's finish clearing that wave. Scared Sausage, we don't have any elemental damage, and we don't have any percent damage, so we're going to recycle this one. Let's reroll this. This is pretty bad. Actually, I could just take 30 range. I'm just going to do that, because I think one of the only ways that we can lose is if our range is so bad that we have to stand right on top of the enemy. Upgrade to all level 3 spiky shields. Kind of sick to have that. And yeah, I'll suffer a 5% damage loss to make my alien eyes pierce. Melee damage we don't use. HP regeneration we don't use. So the mammoth is completely valueless to us. I will take the bonus luck, though, and roll again. And here, Alloy actually completely useless to us as well, because we don't use any of those stats. Normally a pretty good item, but garbage for this character right now. And yeah, nothing here. Do I want to spend 48 for another reroll? I think there's some things we would buy, so I will roll once more. I'll buy this leather vest. Perfect. Roll and lock in the spiky shield. We're also now dodge capped at 60 dodge and have nearly 60 armor. See how fast we can kill this elite. This is going to be one of the harder elites because it's going to run away from us while leaving hazards on the ground. So we have to get really near it and potentially take damage. With 60 armor and 60 dodge, though, I think we can afford to stand in a couple of its attacks. Alright, now I'm going to watch, do the alien eyes actually pierce? Let's see. Yes, it looks like they were piercing, so I thought that would work, but good to have it confirmed. That should increase the damage of those significantly. I want to chase down these brain bugs. I can afford to tank a couple hits to do that, but one thing that could actually put us in danger is if too many of the ribcage guys get buffed and then they manage to like stick on top of us. Medical turret, of course, completely useless to us. Giant belt, well, it only works on critical hits, and our crit chance is -12. I could take this just in case, but our damage is pretty good overall. I think I'll take it just for fun. We don't really need the 60 materials, and if we happen to increase our crit chance, then it can be pretty useful. I'm not going to bother with Lumberjack Shirt. We already kill trees in one hit. And I will bother with leveling spiky shields. I'll keep increasing my luck as well. And lure, another item that is worse for this character than it is for other characters, because we don't have any bonus from the health regeneration, but it's still worth picking up. Glass cannon, I think we will also buy here. Our armor is so good that percentage damage is, I think, the biggest thing that will increase our damage right now, actually. Basically, you can think of our 60 armor as being 60 flat damage for our weapons, and so having more flat damage than you do percentage damage in an absolute value is incredible, but means that any percentage damage we get is going to increase our actual DPS output massively. Wave 18, you really want to focus on chasing down the brain bugs before they can buff too many enemies, and on making sure not too many goobers escape from the slugs. And I know that it bothers some people that I use the wrong names for these aliens, but tough luck, I will never change. You really want to be at this point, or I guess not quite at this point, because like I said, this build has been going phenomenally, but you want to be basically invincible on the Golem by the end of the game, and then you can just use any speed that you've bought and enough armor and so on that you can just dodge any damage that might be coming in. Alien Eyes number 3, awesome find here. I will actually just grab a little more range. When we have some plus range, that can be pretty good. Triangle of Power, pretty interesting as well. We don't really want to be taking any damage because of how our character is structured. That being said, I don't think it's worth picking up here. I'll grab the lure because it is still 2 free items. I'll grab the glass cannon. I'm going to try the Triangle of Power. We'll focus on dodging a little bit more. And then over here, ooh, another Alien Eyes. Okay, deal. Riposte doesn't do anything because we haven't been building melee damage, but I'll grab another Alien Eyes. 4 Alien Eyes is going to fire so many projectiles. And then Heavy Bullets will give us ranged damage, range, but reduces a bunch of other stuff that we want. So I will just go to wave 19. Looks like we are not getting any use out of that giant belt, but it could have been fun if we had found a couple crit items, so I don't regret taking it. The 60 materials would not have made a huge difference in terms of our effectiveness. I normally do not advise taking Triangle of Power, but this is one of the characters that I think can, because you try so hard to avoid taking damage. Although we did take 2 hits as I was saying that. And we have 60% dodge, which works pretty well with it. Okay, I have to take some damage to go clear those brain bugs, though. They were buffing things too heavily and making it really hard to keep them off me. So at the end of the wave, with like a quarter second remaining, I'm gonna pause this and look at how many hits we've taken for the triangle. So let's just take a quick look here. Triangle of Power. Oh, it doesn't actually say. It should really say how much damage we've taken there. Oh well. Okay, we can keep getting alien eyes, sure. And we're over dodge cap, but this will bring us back under dodge cap, but we can increase that probably. Let me just grab some attack speed here. I think that's going to be the best stat overall. Increase my spiky shield, buy this leather vest. Oh, I forgot we had that locked, so going under dodge cap didn't matter at all. 2 luck for every crit chance we have. We could decrease our luck by 24%. I think probably not. Let's combine and buy another spiky shield. We're just looking for damage to kill the bosses as quickly as we can. And armor does indeed count as damage, so I'll grab that. And then over here, pumpkin would be pretty good, but I think the spiky shield is going to serve us the best. So let's go and fight the bosses here. If you stand kind of right in them when you have alien eyes, many of the projectiles will hit them. So it's a little better on a character without Triangle of Power or, you know, and with the ability to heal. But it can be worth standing directly inside the bosses so that all of your alien eyes projectiles hit them at once. This is especially useful in Endless mode, where alien eyes often becomes a significant portion of your damage, since it scales with your HP, which you want to be scaling significantly in Endless mode. Alright, there we go. That's the Golem. I think with this strategy you should get it very consistent. Obviously you have to dodge because you can't heal, but the amount of armor that you're going to generate by just buying spiky shields and then buying armor should keep any damage that you take from being too severe, and then you can just continue to purchase armor and damage over the course of the run. Armor and defensive stats over the course of the run. Getting your dodge up, of course, is very helpful, but don't be afraid to take a couple incidental hits when your armor is in the like 50s and 60s. You are fine to survive through those. Alright, my friends, as always, I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if so, please do feel free to comment, rate the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more of this and other strategy game content, and I will catch you next time. Cheers, folks. GG.